Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. It's my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, beautiful people. That's you. That is you. That is you. So you know that I am still on the turning 50 flow, right? My birthday just passed 11/3/75. Yes, I just turned 50 and I am still celebrating and will celebrate the entire 50th year. So I hope you join me. You better like, share, and follow us. And we're all at 11/3/75. So welcome to another episode of The Real Journey of Entrepreneurship. I am your host and producer, Anita Pierce, who is also the founder and CEO of 11/3/75. Today, I am thrilled to welcome our next guest. As you know, I always talk about the importance of building intentional relationships. Yes, like you go together, like we go together, but we got to build and learn, right, about the needs of others and also ensuring that the relationship is mutually beneficial, right? You don't want to have what I call the popcorn relationship that you just pop in and pop out, but that you are truly sharing some of who you are, your story, and that together you can do great things, right? I am thrilled to welcome Jessica Sinclair, who is an author, a motivational speaker, a networking queen, right? Who made it her mission to transform her and how business professionals and entrepreneurs build intentional relationship. Now I'm going to tell you, when I did some digging about, Jessica, just a little bit digging. Jessica has a dope and very unique combination of being in this space of entrepreneurship. Jessica draws on her background as a nurse and connects and focuses on a human-centric approach to business. And I have to tell you that throughout our conversation, I learned. And whether you dread networking or you treat it like a checklist or not, I can tell you that what you're about to learn is how to advance, expand relationship building to help you propel yourself in your business. So I want to tell you, before we bring on Jessica, I want to share just a little bit, share about a little bit of upcoming events, because I know sometimes we may want to forget or not. I want to share that we have on November 30th, we have the Health, Wealth, and Finances Summit that's coming up on Sunday. Yes, it is a Sunday, November 30th, in partnership with Solid Rock Church in the BX. Yes, I'm from Brooklyn, but we do work in Bronx as well. So please register, check out. It's on our social platforms. And if you're on our email list, it's there, but you can scan a QR code if you're watching this live, or you can register. It's Solid Rock Business Summit 2025. And I also wanted to shout out the Empire State Development Corporation in New York State for generously supporting this summit. I also wanted to share that we have a few upcoming webinars that are coming up. This one, we have a series. So again, if you're in the space and you are, interested about the government contracting space and what does that look like and how you navigate it, we have a series that's happening into January. So please pop in. It is a webinar, so you can pop in, get a little snack bite, and then go about your business. So I am going to tell you that I am excited for my next guest, Jessica. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello, honey. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Blessings and favor to you all. Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Jessica, let's
Yes.
unpack this uniqueness that you have. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, how you are engaging in this space. So talk, do tell, do tell, do tell.
Wow.
No
All
secret.
right. So, greetings, everyone. My name is Jessica Sinclair. I am a registered nurse. I'm a thought leader on networking. How did I get here? I got here by the grace of God, by having two phenomenal parents from Jamaica that understood their assignment when they came here. And one of the things was community, putting people first, and always acting from a place of love. And so with those three fundamentals, I was able to navigate this thing called life, have a background in media and communications. A lot of people don't know about that. And as I was talking to Anita offline, it's like I'm this little Jessie, like little engine that could. And so what I'm great at is just using all my skills, all my transferable skills that sometimes may cause fear, because our mind will say, well, there she goes again, she's doing it again. But I'm very much gifted, and so when you have these gifts, you can't keep them to yourself. So my media background has allowed me to design my book cover, has allowed me to be my own publicist. Being a nurse, I have understood that putting human first, people centered, can never fail me. And so I am a speaker. Naturally, I've hosted a lot of different events. I saw my brother, I'm the baby of 5, and I talk about that in my first book, being the American child, on how that shaped and molded me. I put a lot of pressure on my back because my parents they're poor. They came here with nothing. And I would always see my parents just having all different migrants come. Like, it was kind of like the Underground Railroad. Like, you come here, a safe haven, you save your money, and then from there you go and you develop. So collaboration is something I saw at home, and I have created this space called Network Like You Mean It out of frustration, right? People were just not articulating. I have a background in communication. I'm just saying people are not talking proud about the things that they're doing. They have their head down, and it was just a disservice. Like, I want to do business with you, but you don't know how to do business back because of lack. And so I'm a firm believer, Anita, of fixing things, making them more efficient. And in some spaces, it didn't serve me well, like being a full-time nurse. So I'm like, okay, but the clients love me. My patients would hold me like, oh my God, thank you for waking me up out of anesthesia. Your personality put me at ease. And I just kept on listening to things that people were saying, that I'm a natural born high energy individual. I'm a projector. And lastly, I have communication skills that other people lack. And so I had to change it with Network Like You Mean It. And it's here for the world. And I'm just so happy to be here serving since 2016, the day I graduated nursing school. I knew that I had something else that I had to share with the world. And being a nurse was really my dad's, I wouldn't say my dad's pride and joy, but coming from the Caribbean diaspora, if you're not a nurse or a doctor or an accountant, they didn't see the value. So I got the degree from my dad, and I talk about that. And so I knew God would align me again with communication in a different way where I can own my own vehicle. So I'm
Mm,
here to serve.
mm. All right. So let's get talking, right? Because you said some things that I wanna actually do some follow up on. So, right,
Okay.
you have the book,
Yes.
right? You
Have the
are
books.
no you have the book, but you are no longer an active nurse, right? So I
Clinical,
want
no.
so I want to unpack your why. Why did you transition from what I want to say jokingly a steady job
Yes.
into entrepreneurship now full time? Like what made you transition into that?
Okay. So there's two things that happen. The first thing that happened was that as a nurse, as a Black nurse navigating the healthcare system, I just found that it wasn't serving my energy well. I was
Mm,
pouring into leadership, I was pouring into the patients, which I love. They were the highlight for me because they saw me for my authentic self, the bubbly Jessica that comes on. I wake up every day smiling. Um, I navigated the healthcare system. I did a lot in a short amount of time, which I pride myself on. Ladies and gentlemen, do not feel like you have to be stuck in a position
mm,
forever. Use your skills to get to the next level. And that's what I did in such a great way where I was in cardiology, okay, oncology, and my last rotation was gastroenterology, where it fascinated me before. It fascinated me because our stomach has a lot to do with our mindset, and I teach that in my program that if your gut health is not well, your mind will be foggy. Love the equipment, love the tools, love the people, but leadership did not serve me well. I got recruited at an event for Black entrepreneurs, if you will. It was Entrepreneurship Month in the summer, and so I had my lovely poster. It said RN. So I'm no longer in the clinical setting. I'm now an EDU, and I work there as a clinical administrator. And I get over 400 students opportunities to learn clinical skills throughout Nassau County. And so I bid for positions for my students. So, again, as I said earlier, what are our transferable skills? I knew from birth I was a leader. Nobody can tell me that. I lead with empathy and I lead with compassion. And again, I'm going to say that same word, human centered approach. If I wasn't a nurse, I wouldn't have known about that, Anita. And so, in this position, it is a different type of energy. It's a different type of Jessica that shows up in a suit, no longer in a scrub. But I was seen. I didn't apply for this job. I knew nothing about it. Someone saw something in me. And I'm also a product of that nursing program. So when I look at my degree sometimes, I'm like, girl, you barely made it. But now you have a story to tell these students, like, do not give up. Get into a study group, collaboration, ding, ding, ding. That's how I learned. I teach and then I get the information absorbed in myself. So we kind of have to know where our energies are no longer serving us, to answer your question. And it was no longer serving me as a clinical nurse. I was getting bookings. I'm in the bathroom, like, oh my God, I want this booking, but I can't show up. I can't be in two places at once. And so entrepreneurship is what I saw at home. My mother is a phenomenal chef. Eastern Parkway, all my Brooklynites, we out there Labor Day, and I'm there saying, get your water for $2. Like, my mom embraced me in the culture for entrepreneurship since birth. I can't stress that enough. It was just a matter of time for me to say, no more bedside, no more special procedure room. It's not serving you well. You're getting bullied. You're always in lead. You know, there's been so many different places that have not served me well where I stayed too long, and I said enough is enough. My
mm,
people need me in a different way. And when the
mm.
students see that she's an administrator, and she was just like, a light bulb goes on. I don't even have to say a word, and some days it's overwhelming. But like, give me tips and tricks on how to pass an exam. I'm like, well, time has passed. I know I look youthful, but I'm here for a reason, and it's servant leadership through and through. And we just have to know when to pivot. I'm not telling your audience to quit their jobs, but see how you can reduce your hours a bit. I'm single, so things look different for me than a mom, you know, or a husband and a wife. But the why has always been the same, to change my family's trajectory. I own my own property. Nursing did that. I thank you. I thank you. But this heart, the nervous system, we got to check in on that. And that's why I have this wellness component. Excuse me. I thank my dad that wanted a nurse. Check that off the list. I had to move on from being a clinical nurse. Absolutely. I was spiraling. I wasn't smiling anymore. And that was a problem for me.
All right, Jessica. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a moment to take a deep breath. Ooh, because your story is phenomenal. And I'm glad that you had
Oh, stop.
to tell it, because a lot of times when we hear about nursing, and it's true, most individuals who come from Caribbean backgrounds, it's the major doctor, nurse,
Yeah.
accountant,
Yeah.
right? Not an entrepreneur, even
No.
although, right, the roots is entrepreneurship. When you really look at it, it's always something entrepreneurial or creative, right?
Yes.
And the fact that you talked about and described it from the lens of being um, a Black nurse and your experience, and what does that, because I don't often hear that. I just hear, yes, I'm a nurse, I'm doing this, but not from an honest and real perspective of what your experience was like that caused you to transition out. Because that, we always need nurses, we always need doctors, right?
Yeah.
Although folks are saying that AI is going to make the adjustment, you still
Hmm.
need the bedside love that
Yep.
someone is willing to share, right?
Yes,
Which
ma'am.
leads me to networking, right? And what does that look like? Because we hear it all the time.
Mhm.
Oh, you got to go out and network this, network that. And when I think about it, it's really about building intentional relationships. Like, what does that really look like, right? For those who are in business, like, we cannot survive without having customers, or
Correct.
being known, or who knows us, and the consistent work that we are engaged in. But what does intentional networking mean to you? And how is it different than just hooking up, right? I said it, hooking up or meeting people.
Yes. So you say intentional, I say strategic. I don't know if
Mm,
they can see my shirt, but if you're not strategic with networking, then you're just passing out business cards. And
mm,
for me, strategic networking means that I am either going to learn from someone, I am either going to collaborate with an entity, right? Or I'm either going to look for a space or a time for me to be able to efficiently pitch myself because I did all the research. What I talk about,
mm,
I did all the homework on a person. It's about putting the person's needs before yours. So
mm.
I'll say, hey, Anita, I noticed that within your brand, you have a webinar series. How can I be of service for you and your audience? Versus, hey, Anita, it's Jessica Sinclair, thought leader on education and networking and all the things. Do you connect with persons like myself for a fee, right? Which is more transactional, right? Here are my rates, like kind of just pushing it down your throat. What I did was something different here in real time. I said, how can I serve your community? Because I know I have a wealth of knowledge. I did not talk about any type of currency exchange about my value. And I think that's what people are showing up, because society is showing us that we got to make money fast, right?
Mm.
We got to make money in our sleep. And so we lose the essence of learning how to be a servant leader, learning about what your mission statement is. A lot of my meetings is just try to get to know someone's mission statement to see how I can help. And they're like, okay, but when are you going to tell me about your pricing? I said, that'll come after. I want to see who I can connect you with. And so That's my approach. It's just learning more about a service or brand and see how my skill sets can align with what they're trying to go, see where their journey is like, versus saying, well, here's my pricing. Let's talk about numbers right up front. And so that's how a lot of people get turned off because you don't care about them. A lot of people want to feel held and coddled a bit. And society's like, move on, right? Microwave business. And they don't get the mechanics about the strategic approach. My approach is all about how can I help you first? And I don't get that often. I get emails just like everyone else, and it's just pitching gone bad. So strategic networking is looking at my goals, looking at my mission, and seeing what other companies in alignment, because you said something before. It's like dating, right? You got to kiss a lot of frogs. I hope you don't, but you may have to, right? Not everyone's going to have the values that you have. So same with networking. I'm not giving everybody a business card, Anita. I'm sorry. I'm just not. And during that informational session, you may not be for me. And so I need to be able to weed people off because not everybody's heart is as pure as mine or has the same mission. So I would say be more strategic and understand where your goals aligns with them. And that's why I teach know thyself and what's your why first out of the gate, because people will mold you into who they want you to be. And that's what's scary about what's going on in the times that we're living in.
So let's do a comma and. So you talked about the business card exchange and that it's something that you're not doing. You're not passing it out, like it's, candy for Halloween,
Correct.
right? So as many entrepreneurs are attending events, whether in person, right? Because there's still opportunity to network and build relationships or start the process online virtually as well. What
Yes.
mindset or strategy can help to turn a very basic or casual conversation into a meaningful business relationship if that is the goal of the entrepreneur?
Now, did this entrepreneur come into the event knowing who would be in the room?
So let's do
Because that's changes
yes.
things, right?
Yeah. So yes, they did, right? And then the
Okay.
other one would be no, because sometimes you don't get the list of those who are going to be in attendance. But I'll use virtual as an example, you may see someone who's in a virtual space. You're like, oh my gosh, like I know of that person. And then you start to direct message them while you're in the meeting. That happens quite often. So
Yes.
a little bit of both. Give some guidance as to how or strategy behind turning a very casual conversation to the start of a business relationship.
All right. So in the first scenario that I'm going to give, this person saw the panelists on the invite. They saw the LinkedIn invite, and so they already came in with their purpose aligned with the person. So Anita is a panelist, or she was going to be a guest. I knew that, but based on marketing, I want to find out more about Anita. So I talk about research phase, right? And so Anita may be tied up with someone that's just talking, they didn't take the elevator pitch class, so they're just talking. I have a 5 top 10, right? I have 5 fingers up. And so I do research on the top 5 people that I want to connect before I get into the room. Now, what I do is everybody at this day and age should have a digital device. I go into my notes and I just put some pointers on Anita because sometimes you get nervous. So I just use it as a refresher. And so I say, hey, Anita, my name is Jessica Sinclair. I'm a thought leader in networking. And what I liked about your mission statement in blase blah is that you really honed in on how to be an MWBE from a lens of being an MWBE. It hits different. Our conversations are going to be different, right? Because we have that commonality. So that's what I'm going to start off with. And so a lot of people do not research the contacts ahead of time. And so they're fumbling. And so Anita's looking around because you don't have anything substantial to say besides, hi, my name is Jessica. On the latter, I don't know Anita, but I saw that she looks kind of friendly. I always say, I love a good red lipstick. I always look for the person like myself in the room first that may have something bright on, right? Because to me, they're confident. And so I would go over to that person and I would say, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a thought leader on networking. And so I'm here today to learn X, Y, and Z. You kind of got to know what kind of room you're in. If I'm not if I'm not in a healthcare room, I probably wouldn't say I'm a nurse. I probably would go with what the event has presented itself. Some events are very specific. It's my first time at this event. Have you been to their functions before? And,
Right.
and if you have, what are some tips you can tell me how to navigate this room? People like to feel seen. They love to give free advice. And so I go from that lens because it's my first time. It may not be, they don't know that, but it allows me to actually get them more at ease. Because when people talk about themselves and their experience, they're more relaxed. Then from there, I said, I don't want to take up a little bit too much of your time because we're all here for the same goal. What's the best way for me to contact you? Same with Anita. I already saw her on the panel. I never leave that opportunity on them because people are busy. And I always ask, what is your preferred mode of communication? Very big. A lot of people leave that to the person as well. No, some people may be texters. I'm a texter versus for you to call me because I'm with the students, X, Y, and Z. But I would say that if you just met them, let them know why you came into the event because there may be a commonality there. Is it an alumni association? Talk about the school that you went. Is it a city event? I always say when I live in Long Island, I tracked on the Amtrak, on the LI. You too? I'm a commuter too. So it doesn't have to be that stiff, guys, is what I'm trying to say. When you don't know the person, just be at ease. Talk about your commute. Simple things can lead to a bigger conversation later on. And even though I knew Anita really quick, I want her to know that I value her work, is what I was trying to say in that opportunity, that your mission aligns with the youth and MWBE. I would love to learn more about that. Let the people feel seen. I haven't even given them the business card yet. I haven't even scanned them yet. Some people just walking around here, scan me. I could be the devil. Respectfully, that communication allows me to weed them out. How's her body language? Did Anita even look at me at once? Or she panicked the room for a bigger fish? I don't want to talk to you because you're not strategic. You're not going to be strategic on the follow-up either. You're hunting. I'm gathering. I don't want to hunt for anyone. I just like to gather and build these communities. And so that's the mindset that I tell my students all the time. What are you? Are you a hunter or are you a gatherer? It's a big difference. Are you just moving around because you just want to form a newsletter? Then fine, by all means, get all the business cards in the world. Why are you networking, Anita? Why did you show up in the room? And I think a lot of people, they don't know why they're there besides connecting. You got to know why you're in the room. And so that's how you're going to thrive in there. A lot of people don't know. They just show up like, I'm here. You're not moving strategic. You're drinking now. You're here to let your hair down? Or are you here to move strategically? Because some networking events have free food and drinks. Be real. I'm here for the food. And I may laugh. But I respect the honesty than you just rambling and just saying nonsense. Because you didn't have a plan. I have to have a plan before I get into the room. Time is currency, guys. Time is currency. I can never get the time back where I shared in a virtual experience or in the physical. So I have to be aligned with that. And I'm going to show up differently than someone that's just there for the free food and the cocktails.
And that's the truth. So I feel like we're on the same wavelength, specifically about when we go to places, right? Researching, knowing who's in the room, right? Especially if it's been advertised. But the biggest closer is it okay that I follow up with you? Because to your point, sometimes they may not want to, and that is okay.
Right.
And the other thing you're discovering, and what you ask, which I do all the time, is what's the best way to reach back out to you, right? Yeah. Is it LinkedIn? And, I discovered that, and I went to the Goldman Sachs Business Summit last week. And I'm a 10 KSB alum from cohort 40. So I go, woo, woo, woo. I do that. So one of the things that I learned was, as we're talking with other alum, they're sharing their LinkedIn profiles. But I also discovered that now you can scan it. It's a QR code. Makes a lot. I learned that through attending the event. but it was how they wanted to interact with me, right?
Yeah.
So the next phase is, how do I follow up? And what does that look like? And what's the purpose? Do I want to do a follow? So again, once you have an in as to how the individual wants to communicate, please follow up. Don't just, you
Please.
know, leave it dry and
They
hanging.
leave it dry as a bone. Oh, just they didn't like me like that, but they gave you the contact.
They gave
So
you
you
the
can't
contact.
say the person didn't like you because now that's that subconscious that has arrived. And what we have to understand, Anita, is that every day we wake up, we're programmed to have more negative thoughts than
Mm,
positive. And like
mm,
I said, half the time they don't even see that, sis. Or we talk about stories in the mental health uh, component of what I do, and it's how do we silence the stories or how do we move with it? I'm a flower. I'm not trying to silence a thing because then it gets dormant. Okay, noted, but they gave me their info, so I'm going to shoot my shot. What I learned in my momentum training, and shout out to momentum, is either I can or I can't, right? It's either you're going to do it or you don't. And if you don't, opportunity could have changed your life and your family's life. And that's my why. As I said it again, it's not about me, it's about the future. Sinclairs come from a big family, and so um, we really have to learn to move with those negative thoughts, and that takes a lot of deconditioning. And that's why I wake up every day and I have to manifest. I have to meditate. All the big giants are doing it. You're better than Kris Jenner, or And I'm just throwing a name out there because I just saw that she had a birthday. But these people work on their mindset at 5 o'clock in the morning. Are you in a 5 o'clock in the morning club? Or are you
mm,
getting up at 12 and you're sluggish and the day passed? So I can go on and on. I want to respect the space, but there's a lot of excuses out there, Anita. And when do we stop? When do we
mm,
stop with the excuses of thyself? So some of us will flow, and others will just stand still.
mm,
And that's unfortunate because you have platforms like this that are bringing people to give information. And a lot of us just like, and that's her story, versus looking at the story and say, you know what? I see myself there. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. We got to do the work, and the universe will open up the doors, but you got to show up.
mm,
And I think that's what we don't do strategically. We're just there for the time being, not knowing that we can never get it back.
mm,
Can never get those moments back. And that's how I show up, especially losing my nephew last year.
mm.
Just wasn't happy in life. And I don't want any of us to be unhappy because there's so many resources out there. There's people that want to connect with you. I say that all the time. You just got to find your tribe.
Mm.
So, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna just tag team just a little bit because I had a chance to, as I'm still celebrating, right?
Yes.
I am celebrating, and I have to tell you, I attended Solid Rock Church because I wanted to attend. I've attended in the past, but it was good for me to go. And Pastor Hans was talking about this similar topic. Like there's
Mm,
so much happening right now, and you got to do the work. You
yeah.
have to do the work, right? And to your point, when you do the work, God, the universe has no other choice but to respond to your faith activities, right? There is
Yes.
it's not an option, right? So if you're walking in this space, even entrepreneurship is a faith walk. I don't care what anyone says. It is a faith
Oh,
walk and journey, right? So I'm telling
oh
you,
boy.
I'm talking from my experience, and Jessica could share
Yes.
Jessica's experience, and I'm sure many entrepreneurs out there, if they're honest, it is a faith walk, right?
Yes.
And I'll talk about where we are currently. It is a time where the economy, things have just shifted, and everyone is trying to figure out what's what, who's who. And
Yeah.
and I believe it is our responsibility to do the work, right?
Yes.
Understand what your purpose is, whatever that is that has been downloaded into you. My purpose is not your purpose, right?
Correct.
Discover what it is and put your foot on the gas and go
Woo!
out and be don't and I can't say don't be afraid because that's part of the process, but keep pressing because your efforts, right? Whether you send out a newsletter or you're on your only relying on social media, you got one like. That's one like. Somebody saw it. Somebody that's what you're looking at. Someone saw it, right? Someone
Yes.
paying attention. And so I so appreciate how you are, you know, focusing in on this effort, right?
Yeah.
It's not just effort, but you cannot give up and you have to be consistent in this space. So I want to talk
Absolutely.
about your offerings, right? So I'm looking at this beautiful website and
Thank
you
you.
have worked with a number of organizations
Yes,
that
ma'am.
believe in what it is that you're doing. You have a book,
Yes.
and this is some of the things that you are able, you have specific topics that you're talking about,
Yes.
boosting confidence,
Yes.
those type of things, health and wellness and stress management, which is, it gets us in entrepreneurship too, right? As
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves, but this component really essential and critical. And
Yeah.
then the thing that I love is you talk about, you have an elevated pitch, but let's talk about this other thing you have offer, right? That you
Mhm.
have. Let's talk about that. What does that look like for those who are interested in learning more about how or the next level of success in your product?
Perfect. So, being that you logged on, the box probably disappeared, and it says, "Are you ready to network like you mean it?" So it was a pop-up box, and so what I wanted to do, Anita, I always get, well, you always work with private companies or you're working with the students. We can't pull up, as they say. And I said, well, you can't, but I'm going to be working on something soon. As I mentioned, my nephew, I didn't really come outside all summer. I'm a professional award-winning MC. So, like I told you before, I'm this little like Jackie of all trades, but the foundation has always been communication. So that's how Network Like You Mean It programming came out. Because as a new MC, I'm like, hey, I'm here. Let's partner, whatever. Crickets. So I listened to my viewers and I said to myself, let me give them a downloadable. They're like, well, I didn't want the downloadable because I want to take notes. So I did the Network Like You Mean It workbook. This
Mm,
workbook allows you to utilize the prompts. One of the prompts are, how are you planning to win, right? So you can utilize this. It's thin, it's sleek. You put it in your bag, you put it in your knapsack. You can bring it out right before the event, and it has conversation starters. Very big on listening to my audience. There's a book on how to become a CEO. You become a CEO by listening to the people. Like you said, Anita, one hand can clap. You didn't say that, but that's just the Jamaican way, right? One hand can't clap. We need people to stay afloat. I said, all right. Now they say, Miss Sinclair or Jess, do you have a digital program? I'm like, oh gosh. I used the summer. I used my space. I got a videographer. Shout out to Omar Anderson. He does drones. I said, listen, you have a gift more than drones. He's like, I don't see it. All right, come to my home. We shot 18 self-paced lessons on wellness. I do have a flyer. I know it's kind of upside down, I think. Can they
no,
see
it's
it?
good. No, it's
Okay,
perfect.
beautiful. So this is the Network Like You Mean It course. It is a self-paced 18 lessons, right? That guides you through wellness, self-discovery, defining your why, vision boarding. I don't care what anyone says about a vision board. If you can't see it, you're not going to achieve it. When I did my first vision board in 2016, it says, use your voice. As simple as it was. I became a nurse. I became an author. I love a vision board.
Mm,
Research. We talked about the research component, very big. when you want to connect with like-minded and doing strategic networking. Social media. You mentioned LinkedIn. Not everybody wants me to follow them on Instagram. They may want me to LinkedIn. You don't have a page? But then you just let that platform fizzle, right? So utilizing social media for your brand, right? Are you trying to link up with friends and family? I may do the Facebook route. So every social media platform allows you to show up differently. We talk about that. Time is currency. I kind of said it earlier. Time is currency. I don't play around with that. You can never get it back. Talk that talk. How are you communicating when you show up? I actually love that video. And email systems. How are you utilizing emailing? What's in your subject? If I'm going to follow up with a need, I say, you know what? It was so awesome being your guest, ... I don't say, hey, I saw you last week. Some of the subjects that I see, they look very spammy. They're not concise and they're not on target. We talk about how to email. What is your boilerplate? As a publicist, all my publicists out there, we know we have 2 sentences, guys, to hook up. What I learned is that, Anita, with everything that I've learned throughout my life, it is jam-packed in 18 lessons to tantalize you, to get you unstuck. I always tell my students, you didn't go to school for communication, but I did. Let me pour into you. And the things that I learned, in the rooms that I learned that didn't serve me well, they may serve you. So I'm not bashing nursing. We could talk about it if you like. But I'm gonna get you woke on game. I don't want you to go through what I went through. And that's what Network Like You Mean It is. It's a cheat sheet, guys. I wish I had this in 2016. I was fumbling. I didn't know the elevator pitch, which is not mentioned on here, right? I didn't know these things. So understanding that you ask for something, you shall receive. 18 lessons. I was told, oh, you gave away so much. I'm here to edify and educate. It's not a numbers game. It's about quality over here. So I could have done this in 2 videos, but it would have been so tight. It would have been like 3 hours. And these are considered micro lessons, Anita, which means I know your time is currency, so it's mine. Also, the brain is hardwired for 5 seconds of information at a time. Let me say that again. Your brain is hardwired to receive a short amount of information at a time for you to process it. And that's how I studied in nursing school. So I applied that strategy here. I need to hook you guys in 5 minutes. On to the next video. Also within the course, you also have I'm very big on life work. I don't call it homework. You don't do it, then your life is not going to change, right? Homework feels heavy. I don't like that they use that in the school systems. It's called life work. And that happens when everything is said and done. So within the program, we have life work exercises, and also we have a discussion board. I can track when a student is done, and then I'm going to pull you into a quick 15-minute session with me. What do you need more help with? This is a beginner course. And it doesn't matter if you're the high school student to the parent. It doesn't matter if you're a startup or if you're an expert. Because if you're an expert, chances are social media has changed. It's a new revival for you. Do you know how to hashtag? And this is for my senior vets out there. Oh, I don't need to network. Are you sure? You know, are you on TikTok? And so the course is here to change how you think, because I can't deprogram you if your mindset is not well. And when I say deprogram you, we are so used to fighting for what we need. We're always in a sense of survival. I want thrivers out there. I need more networks like you mean it soldiers. This is a call to action, Anita, because a lot has happened in our life, and I don't want to go deep, but I can go deep. You know, I read a lot. And so we need more time to nurture our mind for the betterment of the community. And that's what Network Like You Mean It is here to offer. You know, if you know, like she said, she did work on me, research, that's big. You just don't want anyone to connect with. And so I put a lot of work into this program and to be delivering it on this high frequency. Guys, you're going to see digital stuff. Like, it's so fire. Like, I still can't believe I produced something like this. It's like, you have a check, like it's up there with Kaplan. And I say that because Kaplan was a program that they pushed on us as nursing students. It did not serve me well, but corporate, that's a whole other conversation, but the Kaplan ain't got nothing on this.
No, that's right. And so, and wrapping up, because I'm going to tell you that this is, I'm going to put up the information again. where you can tap in. But if someone is listening today
Yes.
and wants to become more intentional, give me 3 quick bite-sized tips that can help them to start building relationships this week.
Okay, so one of the things that I want you to do is a SWOT analysis, and we talk about that because if you don't know what your strengths, weaknesses are, and your threats in your business or who you are, it's going to get lost in translation.
Mhm.
You're not going to know what to work on. You don't have to be perfect to network. You just have to know what your capabilities are. We talk about capability statements, but everybody has a capability statement. Everybody's a walking brand. Look at the things that you need to work on and look at the things that you're great at. And I want you to tap on the things that you need to work on because what you're great at, you could probably do it in your sleep. If you cannot record your voice let me rephrase that. If you are scared, if you are shy, I need you to record your voice. That is something that's going to allow you to 10x that conversation when you and I have when you're ready to work the room strategically. So focus on things that you need to work on, guys, because that's what's going to catapult you to the next level with strategic networking. Also, I want you guys to join a group, no matter if it's a group of just knowledge-based information. I remember during COVID, I joined it was like a bird watching group online, virtual. Do you know how many people that watch birds have other things that I was in alignment with? So stretch yourself a bit. We have to. The government is shut down. You have other skills. Surround yourself in groups that make you uncomfortable, is what I'm saying. Facebook is at our fingertips. Join a group where you don't know anybody. You just want to learn one new thing. Could be life changing for you. And lastly, understand that you have something to say. You have something to say that's valuable. Do not cheat us from an experience or a service because your mind is foggy.
Mm.
Meditate. I can give you guys direction on meditation right now. YouTube. Relaxation of the mind allows you to thrive because again, we have to go against so many chemicals in our body that's programmed to allow us to feel lack. We have to do this work. We have to deprogram ourselves, guys. It's either you can or you can't. Anita can't force you and I can't force you, but don't complain about things that are not happening for you because you don't know yourself and you don't know your capabilities. And that's all I got. That's all I got.
That's a
you
lot.
know, that's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
It's a
A lot
trick,
of
but
that.
that's all I got. And I was like, I hope she says that's a lot because
No,
this is
it's
free game right now. Everyone should be learning something new at least once a week, even if it's just a bite-sized thing. Oh, YouTube University is out there. My program is out there. Join Anita's webinars, like she mentioned them at the beginning of the program. Even if you can't stay the whole thing, a lot of us too, we feel like if we can't do it all, we can't do it at all. If we
hmm.
can't, let me say that again. If you can't do it all, some of us say we can't do it at all. And I'm sorry to say, you're going to fail that way. Because if I could tap into a webinar for 5 minutes and learn something that I didn't know, man, listen, the rest is history because I'm going to pin it. I'm going to note it. I'm going to go back to it. I love to learn. You got to be in a space of learning, guys. And even if you know things, that's okay. It's only going to expand you. I said stretch you, but the word really is expansion. I do yoga 3 times a week. I'm doing that downward dog to expand my body for all the good that I want to achieve in this world. So we got to do things differently, guys, especially now. Learn something now that's going to help you top of year. Time is going, tick-tock. I talk with passion because I love this stuff. Nobody taught me. Nobody taught me. I had to
Hmm.
learn it the long way, not the hard way, but the long way.
Yeah.
This is at your fingertips. You can't say anything else that I'm not showing up for you guys. I don't want to hear it. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. It's just like we make so many excuses. You said you wanted the book. I did the book. Now you want me digital. I did it. Each one is supposed to help one. And so I'm not going to stop. So I'm not going to stop. But, you know, um, change is not going to happen if you're not ready for change. So I'm just going to leave that there.
Mm. And I'm going to point to the bottom if you're watching this via video on YouTube, Jessica Sinclair Podia.
Yes.
.com/course. You can also look at the website as well. It's jessicasinclair.com. And I can
Yes.
tell you, I'm super grateful to have you come on and share and vibe and provide
Thank you.
networking. But I am not going to let you disappear as of yet. As
Okay.
a part of the real journey of entrepreneurship, we like to ask what I call the fun, juicy questions just to get to know who you are. So, Jessica, you ready?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
ready.
Shoes or sneakers? What's your preference these days?
Sneakers,
Smoothies or ice cream?
smoothies,
Pizza or burgers?
pizza with tons of vegetables, like tons.
All right. In 2 years, 2 years, two dose. Where are you going to take this journey? What are you planning to manifest in 2 years?
In 2 years, I would like to be in Africa. I would like to be in the diaspora of Jamaica on ground, activating my own academy. And I picked those two locations because I see the need. I was just in Jamaica, and I tell you, I mentor youth at the Jamaica Diaspora Academy. It's new off the ground, and the work I'm doing once a month, I already see the changes in the gentleman. Imagine if I had academy where I'm there on ground, they will have the tools that they need to change their community. So I see this brand going global, and that's the direction for these 18 self-paced courses where I can travel more. And I would like to be rooted 6 months in this continent and 6 months in the next. That is my goal. So yeah, I'm excited about the manifestation, and I know the universe will give it to me because I've been on this horse, screaming from the mountaintops how strategic networking can change your life. I saw the outpour for my nephew's passing. It scared me, and I shouldn't have been scared of the love because I am love. I give love, but I never asked for anything back.
Mhm, mm, mm. Yep.
So it's so different when you lose someone so young. And I just thank everyone that that was there for me and my family.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Know that we are continuing to support you virtually and also in prayer. There is power in
Thank
prayer.
you.
I believe
I,
in
I
community.
believe it.
And I know that, this time, if I was in person, I would be hugging up on you.
Yeah,
But I definitely am sending you virtual hugs because I know when someone transitions, doesn't matter how age, if you love them, their absence is definitely missed.
yeah. And he was so shy. That's why I say don't label people as shy. Just encourage them, meet them where they're at. And he's with me with this. We worked together all summer, him and I together in the spiritual realm to get it off the ground because I was just scared to come outside.
Mm.
And I love what I produced, and there's desperate need for soft skills development in this country and definitely overseas. It's just not taught. It's not valued. We're in this capitalistic mindset. Strategically we sit in rows as students versus a circle. There's so much different things my academy would do differently, and to God's ears. So I thank you so much. And you can't plan this, but the vulnerability and just feeling safe. And I just felt him here with me just now because he's my angel.
Mm.
He's my angel, and he wants me to succeed with the youth because I show up and I'm so full of life when I'm with them and with entrepreneurs. It's a different type of Jessica, and I love her. So I
And
thank
we
you.
are we are loving on you. Thank you for being vulnerable, being authentic, right? Because we can never plan out any type of thing that comes through this space. But I'm very grateful for you sharing. But I'm also going to point our viewers and also those who will be listening that it is jessicasinclair.com. Jessica did mention that there is a course that is active, books that are active. And
Yes.
you know what I always say, support all entrepreneurs if you have the budget to do so.
Right. Of
At
course.
minimum, if you see them scrolling or if you're passing on social media, at minimum, share it. You never
That's
know who
it.
else can benefit from it. So, Jessica, I want to thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Forward to more and more. I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in a couple of
Thank you.
years. You heard it here first, right? So, when
Yes.
it happens, be like, I saw it on that show. Yeah,
Yes.
the
Yes. Thank you.
manifestation of life is real. So, Jessica, I'm sending you virtual hugs and kisses.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Receive.
Thank you so much for joining. This was
Thank you.
amazing. And don't forget to support Jessica um, courses and also check out jessicasinclair.com. Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
Jessica.
Yeah. Bye.
So, hey, friends. So, I want to say, um, I love when I'm able to have um, great conversations that focus in on needs as a business. And I can tell you, none of that was planned, right? But it was all in the timing that was needed to share information. But I want to also do a follow up on some of the things that Jessica mentioned, which is about, tips, you know, it works, right? But you gotta make the decision to utilize it. Jessica talked about a SWOT analysis, join a group, record your voice if you're not comfortable, to practice, to stretch and or expand yourself. And one of the things that was in closing is know that you have value and something to offer. If I will add, what you're purposed for, right? This is not just, throwing around business cards, but it's really about being strategic and intentional about who you are connected with. I'm always reminded that if you have a bag of fruit and there's one piece of fruit in there that's spoiled, guess what's going to happen? The remaining pieces of fruit that is in that bag or in that container is going to be spoiled. So you got to be mindful about the company you keep because it does matter. So, friends, we are at our end, and I want to thank you so much for joining the real journey of entrepreneurship. But I'm going to share that we got some upcoming events, and I hope to see you. I hope to see you. I hope to see you Sunday, November 30th at Solid Rock Church in the Bronx. The Bronx. We are going to be unpacking the Health, Wealth, and Finances Summit 2025. And we are going to be providing you with some resources how to transform for 2026 because it's here, right? I can't, it's here, it's coming, right? So we have Jason McDonald, who is a financial services professional. We have James Motley, author and wellness coach. And then you have me, Anita Pierce, where I'm going to be unpacking, resources within the state of New York. And if you're interested in starting a business, how to do so. It is on Sunday, November 30th, 2025. I'm also going to share that, every Wednesday we are in the virtual space, learning, growing, and developing. We have a number of topics that we are unpacking. Developing a growth mindset, that's going to be upcoming. We have covered what do you do after you become certified in government contracting space, that's still a thing. And also crafting and utilizing a powerful marketing tool, which is the business capability statement that we use to share within our various spaces and as we're targeting our agencies that we want to work with. So join us, check us out. We like, share, and follow us on 11375, same on all the platforms. But Also, if you're looking to share your story, we are looking for you. We're looking for you. We're looking for you, right? The real journey of entrepreneurship is about sharing resources and sharing experiences of those who have the courage to walk in this space, in this journey of entrepreneurship. I am your host and producer of The Real Journey of Entrepreneurship. We air the show on Mondays at 7:05. But if you want to be a guest on the show, please scan or check us out on the platforms at 11375. So again, friends, I am so excited to have you join us today. Please don't forget to like, share, and follow us at 11375. And looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you for joining. This week, I'm thinking about how dope it is to be in business for myself. Self-employment, business ownership, entrepreneurship, all that good stuff. And why I chose to be in that space. Actually, it wasn't my choice. It was something that I was forced into. But as I'm here in this space, I really think it's dope because I am creating things that I imagine, things that I write on a piece of paper, but it also helps to create, after the number of failures, a real boost of confidence that I have the ability to take something off of a piece of paper, take something that I typed in my phone, and then create it. Your mind is your biggest flex.
Welcome to our 4th annual Full Circle Business Project.
This room is small enough but big enough that you can connect with someone. And that is the intention of the Full Circle Business Brunch experience. Being in business is not a competition. We all can win at all levels.
We come from a lot of poverty. How do you break out of a scarcity mindset as a small business?
If you keep it positive, positive will always keep you. The idea that I'm always broke, I never have enough money. You can easily say, I don't have enough money yet. And that changes how you then move forward with your next financial decision.
I'm here to help educate you all on things that you may not have known about, because we find that there's a lot of suffering that goes on when people don't know about stuff.
When you're entering into a business relationship, it's still a relationship. So you want to maintain a good rapport with whoever it is that you're transacting with. You're hiring an attorney to not only protect you, but to also be the bad guy in certain situations.
We can help you connect to people who are looking for jobs. We have 200,000 people in our job bank. We're here to help the businesses out there. We're doing really the heavy lifting in our economy.
This is my 4th time attending this event. Each year it gets better and better. It's really inspiring to see what she's doing for the community and working with the youth.
Why I wanted to start my business is because my mom was working too hard, right? I want to have my own business, my own clothing to wear on the street.
This is an amazing event with lots of knowledge for business owners, business starters, and just who's thinking about getting in the industry. Hope this continues to be an annual event for those who want to learn more about business and get into the business space.
Thank you for being a part of this transformational experience.
A brighter day tomorrow will bring. Oh. Welcome to 11375. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am your Chief Experience Officer. At 11375, we offer strategic alignment solutions specific to you and your business goals, and also connecting everything with social impact. So if you are looking for a really amazing organization where we help you to focus your strategy and connecting it with social impact, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are on all the social platforms, and you can contact us at 11375.